Right now, as you read this sentence, you believe you are experiencing this moment. You're not. What you call now already happened roughly 3 seconds ago. Your brain didn't show you the world. It built you a version of it, edited it, smoothed it, delayed it, and then it handed you that version and called it reality. And here's the part that should unsettle you. This isn't a malfunction. This is exactly how your brain was designed to work. The question is, if you're always living 3 seconds behind, who exactly is doing the living? Let's start with the experiment that broke neuroscience's understanding of consciousness. In 1979, a scientist named Benjamin Libet attached electrodes to the scalps of volunteers and asked them to do something simple. Flex their wrist whenever they felt like it. That's it. No instructions on when. Just whenever the urge strikes you, move. But here's what he was actually measuring. He wanted to know, which comes first, the brain's decision to move or your conscious awareness of wanting to move? Every philosopher, every religion, every legal system in human history had assumed the answer was obvious. You decide, then your brain executes. That's what free will means. Libet found the opposite. The brain began preparing the movement, a signal called the readiness potential, a full 550 milliseconds before the volunteers reported any conscious intention to move. The decision wasn't made by them, it was made for them. And then, half a second later, consciousness showed up and took credit. You didn't decide to move your wrist. Your brain decided, and then it told you that you decided. When Libet published his results, the scientific community did not handle it well. Philosophers called it an attack on human dignity. Religious scholars called it dangerous. Other scientists spent the next 4 decades trying to prove him wrong. They couldn't. In 2008, a team led by John Dylan Haynes used fMRI scanners far more precise than anything Libet had and repeated the experiment. They found they could predict which hand a volunteer would choose to move up to 10 seconds before the volunteer was consciously aware of having made that choice. 10 seconds. Your brain had already decided. Your consciousness was just waiting to be notified. But here's where it gets stranger, because the 3-second delay isn't just about decisions. It's about everything you think you're experiencing right now. Your eyes are not cameras. They are prediction machines. The information traveling from your retina to your visual cortex takes time, about 100 milliseconds per signal. Then your brain has to process it. Compare it to everything you've ever seen. Fill in the gaps and construct a coherent image. By the time you consciously see something, that thing has already changed. So your brain cheats. It predicts what the world is going to look like and shows you that prediction instead of reality. Most of the time, the prediction is close enough that you never notice. But sometimes you catch it failing. That's what optical illusions are. They're not tricks. They're your brain's prediction system being exposed. The checker shadow illusion, where 2 squares that are objectively the same color appear completely different, isn't your eyes lying to you. It's your brain predicting what those squares should look like based on context and lighting, and overriding what the light actually says. You're not seeing what's there. You're seeing what your brain decided should be there. And sound is even worse. The neurons that process sound fire slightly slower than the ones that process vision. So your brain is constantly stitching these 2 streams together, sound and sight, and presenting them to you as a single synchronized experience. You've felt this glitch before. It's called the McGurk effect. If you watch a video of someone saying the syllable ba, but the audio has been replaced with fa, you will hear fa, not because the audio changed, but because your brain automatically overwrites what your ears heard with what your eyes saw. Your senses are not recording reality. They are negotiating it. Now here is the moment where this stops being a curiosity and starts being something much harder to sit with. Everything you believe about your own experience, every memory, every emotion, every moment of connection with another person has been filtered through this same system. The system that predicts, the system that edits, the system that runs 3 seconds ahead of your awareness and hands you a finished story. The neuroscientist Anil Seth calls this your controlled hallucination, not because you are delusional, but because consciousness itself is a construction. Your brain is not revealing reality to you. It is generating an experience that is useful enough to survive in reality. Those are not the same thing, and it gets more personal than that. Your memories are not recordings either. Every time you remember something, your brain reconstructs it from fragments pulling from what you actually experienced. experienced, what you've thought about it since, what other people told you happened, and what makes narrative sense given everything else you believe. Every time you access a memory, you slightly rewrite it. Researchers have demonstrated this in chilling detail. In a classic study by Elizabeth Loftus, participants watched a video of a car accident. Then they were asked one of two questions. Either, how fast were the cars going when they hit each other? Or, how fast were the cars going when they smashed into each other? One word. That's all that changed. The people who were asked about the cars smashing reported significantly higher speeds. And 1 week later, they were significantly more likely to say they had seen broken glass in the video. There was no broken glass. The word smashed had rewritten their memory, not just their description of it, the actual memory itself. So here is where you are, living in a 3-second delay, perceiving a world your brain predicted, not recorded, making decisions your consciousness takes credit for, but didn't actually originate, remembering a past that gets quietly rewritten every time you visit it. This is not science fiction. This is the current scientific consensus on how your mind works. And most people, when they hear this, feel one of two things. The first reaction is panic. If none of this is real, if everything is filtered and predicted and constructed, then what is? What can you actually trust? But here is what the neuroscientists actually say, and it is more interesting than the panic. The fact that your brain constructs reality doesn't mean reality isn't real. It means your relationship with it is more active than you thought. You are not a passive receiver. You are a constant, real-time generator of experience. Every moment you are alive, your brain is running a simulation sophisticated enough to make you feel like you're touching, tasting, remembering, deciding, loving. And that simulation is so good, so fast, so seamlessly maintained that for 300,000 years of human history, not a single person suspected it was happening. The 3-second delay isn't a flaw. It's the price of having a mind complex enough to experience anything at all, but it leaves you with a question that is very hard to unknow once you've heard it. If your decisions were made before you were aware of them, and your perceptions are predictions, and your memories are reconstructions, then who exactly are you? Not your brain. Your brain is the machine doing all of this without asking you. Not your memories. Those are edited copies of copies. Not your choices. Those were already made in the dark before consciousness arrived. Maybe the answer is this. You are the experience itself, not the hardware generating it, not the data being processed, but the strange, flickering 3 seconds behind awareness that gets to witness all of it. The delay isn't the tragedy. The fact that something gets to experience the delay, that might be the most remarkable thing in the universe.